Assalamu alaikum. The Arabian Nights, Part 2. The main frame story concerns a Persian king and his new bride. Upon discovering his wife's infidelity, the king Shahryar has her executed and then declares all women to be unfaithful. He begins to marry a succession of virgins, only to execute each one the next morning. Eventually, the vizier, whose duty is to provide them, cannot find any more virgins. Shahrazad, the vizier's daughter, offers herself as the next bride, and her father reluctantly agrees. On the night of their marriage, Shahrazad begins to tell the king a tale, but does not end it. The king is thus forced to postpone her execution in order to hear the conclusion. The next night, as soon as she finishes the tale, she begins, and only begins, a new one. And the king, eager to hear the conclusion, postpones her execution once again. So it goes on for 1001 nights. The tales vary widely. They include historical tales, stories, tragedies, comedies, poems, burlesques, and various forms of erotica. Numerous stories depict jinn, magicians, and legendary places, which are often intermingled with real people and geography. Common protagonists include the historical caliph Harun al-Rashid, his vizier Ja'far al-Barmaki, and his alleged court poet Abu Nuwas. Despite the fact that these figures lived some 200 years after the fall of the Persian Empire, in which the frame tale of Shahrazad is set. Sometimes a character in Shahrazad's tale will begin telling other characters a story of his own, and that story may have another one told within it, resulting in a richly layered narrative texture. The tales in the collection can be traced to the ancient and medieval Arabic, Egyptian, Persian, and Indian storytelling traditions. Many stories from Indian and Persian folklore parallel to the tales. Parallel the tales. These tales were probably in circulation before they were collected and codified into a single collection. This work was further shaped by scribes, storytellers, and scholars, and evolved into a collection of 3 distinct layers of storytelling by the 15th century. Persian tales influenced by Indian folklore and adapted into Arabic by the 10th century. Stories recorded in Baghdad during the 10th century. Medieval Egyptian folklore. The influence of the versions of the Knights on world literature is immense. Writers as diverse as Henry Fielding, 1707 to 1759, to the Egyptian Naguib Mahfouz, 1911 to 2006, have alluded to the work by name in their own literature. Many writers from diverse cultures have been influenced by the Arabian Nights. This epic has been influential in the West since it was translated in the 18th century, first by Antoine Galland. Many imitations were written, especially in France. Various characters from this epic have themselves become cultural icons in Western cultures, such as Aladdin, Sinbad, and Ali Baba. Wassalamu alaikum.